Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Jacob Reilly, and today I'm filming with the 2020 Subaru WRX. Let's jump into it. All right, so like I mentioned, I am filming today with this World Rally Blue 2020 WRX. It's a manual. It's pretty much my car, but the WRX version. But if we walk over here, my friend Jay Grider, he has a YouTube channel, Jay Grider Car Reviews. He's filming this Volkswagen Golf GTI. Walk over here, he can tell you a little bit about his channel. So tell us a little bit about your channel, Jay.
Hey guys, I'm Jay Grider. I do car reviews on YouTube. If you haven't seen me, go ahead and look me up at Jay Grider Car Reviews on YouTube. Also, Jacob Reilly on YouTube. Great guy, I love him. And we just love doing this. We love cars, we love sharing what we do. I hope you guys love it too. Make sure to leave a like on his video and make sure to come to my video as well on this Golf and leave a like as well.
Well, awesome, and there'll be a link in the description to go check out his channel and watch this review. It should be up soon. I do want to give a big thank you to all the support on my C8 video that I went down to Charlotte, North Carolina and filmed, and all the new subscribers and everyone that's joined the channel since that video. Thank you for subscribing. Hope you stick around. Do a lot of videos like this, going to dealerships and reviewing their cars. But yeah, like Jay said, leave a like on this video if you did enjoy, and click that subscribe button because it helps me out and you get to see more of my content. All right, so before I set the phone up on the tripod, I kind of want to go around the car and describe the differences between the WRX and my Subaru BRZ. Obviously, this is Subaru's other sports car. This is more of a practical approach to it, but as you can tell, it is the same paint color as my car, and the big difference is that hood scoop up there. The other big difference is if we walk over here, it's a four-door, so this is a sedan. It's a very sporty sedan. It is all-wheel drive. If you walk back here, it's they badge it as symmetrical all-wheel drive right here. But yeah, so this is the WRX. This was a car I was looking at when I got my BRZ, and I'll tell you, reviewing this, kind of wish I had gone with it, but still love my car. You do have the black wheels. I believe these are 17-inch wheels, just like my car. The interior is very similar. I'll talk about that when we get to it. Mirrors look the same. So a lot of this comes from the BRZ, but it definitely is a much different car. And the main difference is this is a turboed 4-cylinder engine. My car, just a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. I do believe this is it has larger displacement than my car. Mine's a 2-liter. I do think this one's bigger. But yeah, the hood scoop is actually functional. I'll talk about that when I get to the engine. But yeah, so we're gonna actually start on the inside and I'll show some of the cool features in there, and then we'll head to the outside of the car. All right, so I'm sitting inside the 2020 WRX, and overall, I do like the inside of this car. My car does feel a little bit sportier than this because this is a 4-seater, but you do have the hood scoop that you can see in front of you. The steering wheel, it's really decent. Mine has Alcantara on it. This is full leather wrapped. And the interesting thing is because this is a 4-seater, it does have a lot more options to be more practical, such as the steering wheel has buttons to control the radio. I would assume like the screen in the middle here, but it's more focused on being a daily driver. My car, I call it a 2-seater because the back seats are pretty much impossible to use, but overall, like it's a lot more practical and focused on being a daily driver. You do have, though, when you start up the car, you have a boost monitor above your center console, which it's just cool to see because most people would think that this is just a normal sedan, but this is very fast. Like I said, all-wheel drive. It is a manual, which is nice. It's manual. Reverse is a little bit different than my car. It goes to the right and down, but it's the same. You still pull up on the lever and slide it in there. You do have carbon fiber on the inside, which is really nice, and leather door panels and everything. Turn signal stocks, exactly the same as my car. Makes sense. This is coming from Subaru. Pedals are the same. A lot of this is very similar, but it is a lot different at the same time. So I'm gonna hop into the back seats now and show you the use of that because we do have back seats in this car. So I'm 6 foot tall, and I have the seat in front of me exactly where I would have it if I'm driving, and it is unbelievable the amount of space I have in here. So I'm sitting about as modest as I could. If this seat was back any further, it has about, I would say 4 inches in front of me. But if I want to sit back and kind of relax in the car, I have plenty of space to do that. My knees still aren't even touching, which is hard to find nowadays with these compact sedans. This seat, obviously a person in the passenger seat might sit a little bit closer or sit a little bit further back, but you still have plenty of space. The back seats are they're pretty standard. I mean, there's no real buttons or anything to do back here. Very minimalistic, but this is a cheaper car. It's at $28,000 for brand new, so I think this is the base WRX. So you aren't getting all the nice features that the limited trim would have. So I did mention that this car is turbocharged, and it is the same displacement as my BRZ. It is a 2-liter boxer engine with a turbo on it, and it's making about 238 horsepower. Now it's not a lot more than my car, but you have to take into account that this is all-wheel drive. So the 0 to 60 time is significantly quicker. I'll put that on the screen right here. It is a decently fast car. The hood scoop, you would think not super functional, but it's completely functional. You can see it has a little air vent here that directs it onto the intercooler, which is top mounted. The turbocharger is underneath the engine here, and there's not a ton to actually cover the engine like in most cars. Like the Volkswagen GTI that Jay Grider's reviewing, that has a lot of plastic covering it. You really only have this one piece right here. Pretty much everything else is exposed. Obviously Subaru, with these cars, likes people to modify them and tune them. They know people are doing that, so they're not bothering to put a ton of plastic on the engine and make it a mess for you to work on your car. So I'm going to shut this now, and we will head to the side and talk about kind of the aesthetics of this, and then talk about the trunk. All right, so onto the side of the WRX, we do have 17-inch wheels up here. I do like these wheels better than my BRZ. The kind of like gunmetal gray, it's not really black. They definitely look a little bit better. I think this would look good with some bronze wheels, kind of take it back to the rally stages with this car. You do have this little piece right here, it says WRX, and then as you can tell, right here there's a vent. You would think it's a vent, but I've been checking back here and nothing can come through this. Now I'm sure it would be fairly easy to kind of modify this into making it actually a way for air to escape the brakes and the wheel wells, because that definitely does add a lot of drag. But it comes stock as a fake vent. Can't really tell though, and it still looks good on the car. So onto the rear of the WRX now. It does have quad tailpipes, and the sound is pretty decent, especially for a 4-cylinder. Now remember, this is stock, but even a simple axle back on this car will make it pop, and you'll definitely hear the turbo a little bit more. The rear end is pretty similar to my car. You do have a smaller diffuser than my car, but this is more of a subtle sedan. Rear end is pretty decent. I do wish these were black badges instead of silver. My car came with silver and I replaced them pretty much immediately. You have your reverse lights and your turn signals right there. But yeah, you do have a backup camera, which is really nice, especially for the base trim. But you do have to remember that this is a 2020 car, so having a backup camera, it's really necessary, especially to compete in the market that this is in. So I'll play some exhaust clips for you right now. Alright, so I already talked about the inside of the car, but I'm going to head in a little bit more and show you kind of the infotainment and the screens in this car. So let's head in. You don't have, on this car, you do not have keyless entry. So that is a downside, but this is the base model. So we get in here, really nice place to be. We'll shut the door panel. Obviously you can tell there's this leather with this red stitching. But yeah, so pressing the brake and the clutch, this is the key. Pretty simple. Just put it in right here. Kind of hard to do when I'm watching the camera too. And start it up. So you have your 6-speed manual right here. And like I was mentioning, my reverse is normally up here by first gear. This one's back here, so it definitely threw me off at first, but I'll roll up the windows so that you can hear me better in here. So this is the gauge cluster. Pretty simple. Mine definitely is a little bit more sporty. You have the, normally you have your revs in the middle, but this one definitely easy to read. Everything is here, all your information. You have your MPGs up there, and as you can tell, this one has 41 miles on it, which I think is pretty cool. This is definitely brand new. And like I did mention, you do have the boost gauge up here, so if I give it a little bit of acceleration, see right there, we've got 10% throttle. You can see the boost pressure on there, which is definitely really cool. It shows the peak pressure that I would assume that you can reset that. And then this is your infotainment. So when I test drove a WRX, it was a 2013 or a 2015, I can't remember, but it wasn't as nice as this. This is definitely updated, and it has your Subaru Starlink, which I would assume is connecting your phone or something. You can go on apps here, and you have Pandora, I guess Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is really nice. Definitely good to see that in here. Touchscreen is fairly responsive. Doesn't feel, it might be because I have this films on here, doesn't feel insanely smooth, but it's good enough for what you're going to be needing. You have your radio, media, all that stuff. You have your phone on here, which is kind of cool. I would assume you can call people, and there's Bluetooth, there's probably a mic, and yeah, right up here there's a microphone. Let's see if we go to apps, like I already went here. So it's pretty simple, but there's definitely enough stuff to make this a nice daily driver. You have your auto climate control here with these nice dials, very clicky. They don't feel super cheap. This is a $28,000 brand new car, so definitely nice that this feels good. Everything's leather wrapped. I mean, the steering wheel is really great, especially with the red stitching. And then up here, this is how you can control this screen. So up there you can see we have our throttle, average mile per gallon. I would assume that this is for if you're off-roading the car, because it is all-wheel drive. I think, oh yeah, so look, if I turn the steering wheel, you can see the front tires up there actually turning on the screen. I don't know when you would actually need to use that necessarily, but it's there. And then you have right here kind of a level for your car. So if you are off-roading it, you know how much more you can push it, I guess. And I would assume all of this is customizable. Yeah, so right here you can go into screen settings. So hold that down. You can change time and date and all that on here. It's pretty nice car settings, I guess. So it's got a lot of cool things on here. Interior light, I would assume that's how long it stays on when you get in the car. But yeah, seats are cloth in this car compared to leather in mine. But like I said, base model, so it doesn't have the heated seats. I would assume that these switches right here are where the heated seats would be. Up here, glove box, you've got decent amount of space. It's pretty much the same glove box as mine. And then if you want, over here, you have your trunk release. And then down here, kind of hidden, you have traction control. It puts it in track mode. And on the screen earlier, I saw that there was a place that would show if traction. Oh, I would assume that light right there lights up if you turn it off. Now my car, something I want to test out, it has, normally if you press the button, it'll turn that on and off. But mine, if you hold it down, it turns off other things. So I'm going to hold it down and see if we can get everything off. Maybe not. Maybe it just, yeah, I guess not. But yeah, this is definitely very similar to my car. So yeah, that's probably going to be it for this video on the 2020 WRX. This doesn't have a ton of features for me to necessarily talk about compared to some of the other cars I've drove and reviewed. But definitely like the color of this car a lot. It is the color on my car, same paint name and everything. Once again, big thank you to Flo Subaru of Winston-Salem for allowing me to review this and spend at least like an hour or two with this car filming it. And as the title suggests, should I have gotten this over my BRZ? I'm not really sure. I definitely think this has pros compared to my car, but who knows? Maybe I would have had this and then seen a BRZ and been like, man, I wish I had that. So definitely different advantages to getting this car compared to mine. I do think it's a good looking car, but once again, thank you for watching and supporting my channel. Really glad to have all these new subscribers here to support me. And my name is Jacob Reilly, and I'll see you in the next video.